about a month ago, I did an extended reflection on that movie, The Wild Robot, which was really well received, right? So even off the top of my head right now, the version of the reflection I did, which I posted on Facebook, to this date has garnered like about 320,000 views. So really well received, and thank you very much for that. But when I think back on that particular reflection, certainly I talked about the movie in terms of broad strokes and how it reflects, the life of Christ and the general spirit of the Christian thing. But in retrospect, when I think about that particular movie, I didn't quite convey in that earlier reflection why I really love the movie. So what I want to do today is talk to you about a couple scenes from the film which really moved me, to give you a sense as to why I think this film is one of the best animated films of all time. So truth be told, after I saw The Wild Robot in the theater, I downloaded it on my phone after I realized it was basically available to buy on Amazon Prime. And so I downloaded the film on my phone, and since then, pretty much every single day, I kind of take time out to watch a scene from that movie, because it is so amazing and so inspirational and so incredibly moving. And so if you've seen the movie, you know why, but if you haven't, trust me, it's so human, it's so emotionally resonant. Now, in terms of the basic plot, I'm not going to go through the thing in a whole lot of detail, but suffice to say, there's this robot named Roz who basically takes on the role of being a mother to this little gosling named Brightbill. And so in particular, she's trying to teach him how to fly, before the annual migration, short of which he's basically going to die. So anyways, the first scene I want to focus on is the migration scene. And basically, whenever I'm thinking about the best scenes in the movie from a production standpoint, the migration scene in The Wild Robot is at the top of the list. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is so beautiful. It is so majestic, even from a strictly visual standpoint. Absolutely mind-blowing. And every time I watch this scene or even think about it, it's just, I start to cry. So basically, just to kind of set the thing up, right? So you see all the birds gathered in this field, I guess, and they're about to prepare for the annual migration. So in terms of the immediate characters, there's Roz, obviously, there's the fox Fink, which is like the friend of Roz, and of course Brightbill himself, and this older goose named Longneck. And so basically what you see at the beginning of the scene is that Brightbill's kind of excited about flying, but he doesn't quite appreciate all the work that Roz has put in to get him to this point. And so in the background, you see that Roz is beaten up, she's tired, and she's just sitting down to catch a breath, because she's basically poured her entire heart out to prepare Brightbill for this moment. And again, Brightbill, he's kind of oblivious. And so there's this early conversation between Brightbill and Longneck, where Longneck says to Brightbill, okay, this moment basically is a gift given to you by Roz. And at first, Brightbill's like, yeah, I know. And Longneck ever so firmly says, no, you don't. You don't understand. And so basically, as a matter of background, early in the film, Roz accidentally fell down on this nest containing Brightbill's mom and his siblings. And so she accidentally kills all those other characters except for Brightbill. But then because she takes on the role of being a mother to him, and more to the point, helps him to learn how to fly, basically, if she didn't do that, he would have died, because he's especially weak. He was a run to the litter. And so here's this moment which is tragic but ends up being a gift. And it's emphasized all the more by the fact that Roz, again, has really kind of killed herself in a certain sense to bring Brightbill to this point, right? And so this is the first moment that Brightbill kind of realizes that, wow, this is actually a really special moment. And wow, look how much Roz loves me and has sacrificed for me to get me to this point. But then all of a sudden it's time to leave for the annual migration. And so without properly reconciling with Roz, he says, well, look, can you give me a boost? And so, of course, she's willing and more than eager. And so basically he crawls up her arm and basically ends up being seated on her shoulder. And so she runs with all the other birds as they kind of build momentum to engage in this momentous flight. And again, the production value, the music, everything, the visuals, so amazing and incredible. And then finally, Brightbill takes off. And at this point, you see in terms of Roz's internal display, a sort of check mark. So basically, in her mind, she had three key tasks, right? To feed Brightbill, to teach him how to swim, and now to teach him how to fly. And so the first two, they're colored a certain way to indicate completion. But now now that she's completed the third task, that thing is checked off. And so now it seems like I've accomplished my goal. And now there's nothing more to be done. And so I should be satisfied because my job as a robot is to fulfill certain tasks. And so now that this task has been complete, I should be content, I should be satisfied. Except that she's not. And so Fink runs up next to her and senses something is off. And at this point, all the birds have already taken off in a certain sense. And so she's trying to explore what's going on in her heart. She recognizes she feels unsettled. And so she just runs to the edge of the forest and hangs onto a tree and basically looks out at the birds flying away. And you see this huge visual sweep, all the birds in their formation flying away, and again, the music and all that stuff. And you can tell that she feels this great swell in her heart, like her son is flying away. And she's trying to sort out these feelings, and Bright Bill kind of looks back, but like he doesn't know what to do. And Longneck, the older goose, he recognizes the moment. So what he does, he says, "Bright Bill, follow me," and so they circle back, right? Because he knows what this moment means to Roz. And so even though all the birds are flying away, he arranges for Bright Bill to circle back with him and do one final flyby before they leave, seemingly forever. And it just means so much to the mom. And that this feather from Bright Bill, it falls down and she catches it, and then she's alone. And now they're gone. I'll circle back to that in a moment, but I want to talk about this other scene that I found really moving. And basically, it's at the end of the film. Roz and Bright Bill, they're on this spaceship. They're trying to escape this spaceship. So there's this hole which opens in the spaceship, and the plan is to jump out to safety, even though they look down and the forest is there and it's on fire and whatever, and there's chaos and all this stuff. And Bright Bill, before they jump out, he looks at his wing, and his wing is damaged. And he says, "I can't fly." And he's so scared. And Roz says, "You don't have to." And so she grabs him, holds him close, and they jump out. And she's holding him close, and she looks at him and says, "Don't be afraid." And it's a command. Like, do not be afraid. And they're falling down, and she looks at him. And it's like the eternal now. Like she looks back to when he first hatched and when he started to grow up, and all the different stages of his growth and his development, and remembering all these things all at once. And what happens, like obviously they're going to hit the ground and hit the ground hard. And she wants to protect him, so she opens up this compartment in her chest and pulls out like wires and machinery. And Bright Bill's like, whoa, don't you need that? And she says, "I have everything I need." And then she puts him in that compartment in her chest. And then the compartment closes up, and she says, "All power to externals." And with that, she braces herself for the impact. They land, and obviously it's a successful landing, and he's safe. Okay. Now, after describing to you these two scenes, I just want to share with you what I think about when I think about these two scenes, which obviously I've seen a lot. So, what comes to mind is, like we kind of know that God is real, and God loves us, and God provides for us, and whatever. But we don't, Like we don't. Like, Not only does God give us everything, like everything is love, everything is mercy, but like what he does to give us life. I mean, we know, but like we really don't know, like his suffering, his death, what he does to pour himself out for us, and the way that he manifests that love and that care and attention in all sorts of different ways. Like the sacrament of the present moment, but in particular, like think about how God sends all these people in our lives to help us. Yeah, okay, fine. A lot of people don't love us and receive us in the way that they should, but a lot of people do. Think about the wonderful people you have in your life. I don't know, like when I think about this movie, The Wild Robot, when I think about these scenes, it fills my heart with wonder. When I think about God's beauty and his providence and his sense of care, it also just fills my heart with gratitude. And I mean, you got to make up your own mind when you see this movie and you watch these scenes, like what your takeaway is. But like, I just want to say, like, thank you. Thank you, God, for loving me. Thank you for dying for me. Thank you for being my father. And I want to thank all the people that God has sent across my path over the years to help me and to love me. Especially my parents. Especially my dad. And especially my mom. Words can't describe what you've done for me. But all I can say to you right now is, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And God bless you.